Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? It's been a long time since I have hopped on to YouTube. So, hey everyone, how are y'all doing? I hope that y'all had a wonderful day. My name is Tikwa Scarborough, and for those who are new to my broadcast, yeah, Tikwa Scarborough. I am a virtual assistant coach. Well, I am a virtual assistant Christian coach. Yes, let's get that correct. Virtual assistant Christian coach. So I help new aspiring and seasoned virtual assistant earn consistent monthly income. I also take my clients through my unique process, which attract and retain clients while increasing revenue. So if you're new to my broadcast, please put in the comments that you are new so I can welcome you to my broadcast. And also let me know where you're tuning in from because it's very important for me to know these things because I love to connect with people. I love to have conversations with people all around the world. Most of my clients are international, and I just love it because I learn about their culture. Although we're on different time zones, but it's interesting how we're living on the same earth, but they in a different time zone than us. It's like living in what do you call it? The Twilight Zone. So today I wanted to talk about going on a date. Yes, going on a date. Who's going on a date today? Who's going on a date today? Okay, so I want to talk about going on a date with your ideal client. And that's the date I'm talking about, your ideal client. A lot of us are still not booking clients or have not even booked one client. And a lot of people are still struggling with this. And why are they still struggling with this? It's because they don't know who their ideal client. Now, I have people who says, I know who my ideal client is. They're coaches, they're event planners, they're photographers, they're event planners. But when they say that, I'm like, well, no, you don't know your ideal client because you just named a few industries. You didn't name who your ideal client is, that person who's your ideal client. And they didn't understand it or like, well, how they cannot make the connection that they need to know who their ideal client. And this is something that I couldn't make a connection with either when I started my business. When I first started, I didn't know anything about no ideal client. When people will ask me, who's your ideal client, or if someone DM'd me to say, oh, I can help you with A, B, and C in your business. You just need to know who your ideal client is. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody's my client. But no one corrected me on that. And it's so frustrating when you're just starting out in business. And I know that we have to invest. We do have to invest. But we also have to connect with people as well. Not just say, well, I can help you with that. I don't know you. Okay. I don't know what you do. You just slid in my DM and you didn't make any connection with me. So now that I'm thinking about it and I'm like saying, okay, well, do you know who your ideal client is? you know? So my thing is that you have to know your ideal client as if they're your best friend. And I know that I mentioned this and I have talked about this before on some of my other videos or my lives. But I think that this is so important because a lot of people are not getting it. They're not getting it. And then I just feel so bad sometimes because they're still struggling to get clients because they don't know who their ideal client is. They still like a little lost fish in the sea. They're swimming in this ocean with all this water and they just don't know. They're just talking to the world and they don't know who they're talking to. Yes, you probably have the industry that you love, working with business coaches or life coach or wellness coach or event planners or doctors or um, health professions, whatever that is, you still need to speak to one person. So if you are in the industry of your photographer and you're supporting, you want to work with photographers, then what is that photographer name? Is that photographer, so when you're talking every single day, are you talking to a bunch of people every day? You're either talking to your spouse or your children, or you're talking to a friend on the phone. You're having a conversation with them, right? And just like take example of my bestie, we could get on the phone and we could talk about a lot of things. I know everything about her. I know what her pain points are. I know what pushes her button. I know what gets her upset. I know how to make her laugh. These are the things that we need to know for our ideal client. And I keep talking about this because I know that when you continue to talk about something over and over again, something is going to click with someone. And I'm a type of person that I like repetition until somebody gets it, right? That's how I am. That's how I learn as well. I'm in a coaching program now and I'm listening to the modules. So I take time out at night. That's when I know that I'm down for the night. My son is in bed. He's finished doing, I mean, he ate, he took his bath, brushed his teeth, bedtime story, all that stuff, and he's in the bed. So now it's time for me to hoosah and get my next level on. Okay. And that's the time that I need to do it because I'm either talking with clients or going live and doing my 9 to 5 or doing motherly duties and helping with distant learning and things like that. So I have to find a balance so that I can, take some time to next level. So I take 30 minutes at night before I go to bed and I listen to the audio for 30, whatever time it's never longer than 30 minutes. And I start writing about that topic, about whatever they was discussed. And then I listen to it again so I can get it, so I can reflect on it and I can write and I can journal on it because that's how I'm going to learn. And this is something that you need to, or we all need to do. Maybe your learning style is different than mine, but whatever that is, try it out to get to know who your ideal client is. Because if you don't know who your ideal client is, you're not going to attract the ideal client that you want. You're not going to attract your dream ideal client. So let me give you some tips on how to have go on a date with your client. One, I want you to find the time throughout the day. I want you to do this for the next 5 days until you get used to it. The next 5 days, make sure that you have, pick a time that is a downtime for you where there's no distractions, there's no phones. Just turn your phone off, your computer off, and it's just you and your pad and your pen. Okay, get your favorite drink, a tea, coffee, water, whatever that is. Whatever sets the mood for you. Put on a candle. I like putting scented candles on and sitting downstairs or wherever you are. I don't know. I say downstairs because I have upstairs and downstairs. But sit somewhere at your dinette table or at your office desk, not laying down, not on the couch, not getting comfortable. I want you to, like, if you're on a date outside, you're meeting someone outside for a coffee or tea or lunch or whatever, and you're sitting there, and I want you to start writing down some questions that you will ask your ideal client, the person that you want to work with, right? So if you're a new virtual assistant, then of course you probably say, well, how am I going to do that? I don't even have a client. That's okay, because you're going to start out with yourself, because your ideal client is of some version of yourself, right? You want ideal clients that is someone like you, basically. Someone who's nice, who's efficient, who's hardworking, have your own business or striving to have your own business, whatever that is, right? You know yourself better than anybody else, right? So you're going to ask yourself these questions as if you're your ideal client. Give your ideal client a name. That's most important, because when you call out somebody's name, that means something, right? Because I wouldn't want someone to say, "Hey you, hey woman, oh hey girl with the curly hair, or hey tall girl," or what. I don't want nobody calling me any other name. I want you to call me by my name. Of course, if it's nobody that doesn't know me, then I'm gonna say ma'am or miss or whatever. But you get the point, right? You get the point. I want you to start drawing up some questions that you're going to ask your ideal client. What is their favorite color? Give your ideal client a name. Give them an age, right? What profession that they're in. What is their disposable income? Are investors? If they are someone who invests in things, that's the type of clients. Don't put, "Oh, this client is struggling. Can this person pay for, if this person is struggling, can they pay for your services?" You have to ask yourself, because these are some of the things that some of my clients have put. They put where, oh, they don't have disposable income. Oh, they trying to make it so they can pay for a VA. Is that the type of client you want? Because I know if I'm dreaming up a client, that client is, yes, she could pay for that service plus two more services, and yeah, she's referring me to coach somebody else, whatever it is. I'm just acting silly now, right? But seriously, who is this ideal client? What does she like to eat? What is her favorite drink? What is her color? What makes her tick? What city, state, or country she lives in, so that you can get to know who your ideal client. So let me tell you what these things, when you're doing this, what you're doing. You're having daily conversations with your ideal client to get to know them better. So when you get to know somebody better, right? don't don't you feel comfortable with that person? You start feeling like, oh, okay, I can let my hair down and I can really, have a nice conversation with you. Because when you first meet someone, well, I know me, I'm kind of shy sometimes, or a little quiet. I like to observe and listen, and things like that. But in this case, you want to get to know who that person is. This person that you want to work with, this person that you want to work with, maybe that person is down to earth, they funny, and y'all vibe together. Whatever that looks like to you, you should be having that type of conversation with your ideal client. Okay, so you got the pen, you got the your pad, you have your favorite drink, you're in a quiet place, right? Now you're starting to have this conversation. You're giving your ideal client a name, what age they are they married, do they have children, what state or country they live in, do they live in an apartment, do they live in a house, do they live in the suburbs, do they live in the city? So these are all the questions that you're going to drum up about your ideal client. Because the more questions that you ask and answer those questions, the more content that you're going to be able to have. So once you do that, you're going to reflect on that conversation. You're going to create a journal for yourself, right? About your ideal client. You're going to create that journal each day for 5 days. You're going to ask a couple of questions to get to know who your ideal client is. So when you asking these questions, you're going to write them down. And then you're going to write down how you can help this person, how this person resonate, how you're going to allow this, well, not how allow them, but how are you going to get this person to feel like you're the one that they need in order for them to solve their problems, or you're the solutions to their problem, right? You're going to write these things in your journal. You're going to write down 3 pain points. And then those 3 pain points, you're going to write 3 things that you're going to do to help them resolve those pain points, right? You're the pill, right? You're the medicine to them. They're having this problem, and you're the solution to this problem. So explain in your journal how you're going to help this client that's having these problems, right? How are you going to give them a transformation in their business? How are you going to, like, say, for example, you are a executive assistant. How are you going to give them that transformation? What are your duties as an executive assistant, right? What is your job? Your job is to make sure that all the administrative stuff, everything is organized, that all the back end of the business is taken care of. You're basically like a project manager, taking care of everything else in the business while your client is taking care of what they love to do, because that's what they want. They don't want to do, because I'm speaking for myself. I don't want to do the admin stuff. I don't want to do the social media stuff. I just want to be like here with you. I want to be on here and I want to talk to you. I want to be with my clients. I want to be helping my clients, helping them get the transformation that they need in their business. These are the things that I want to do. And I need an admin to do that for me, right? I have admins who do my admin. I have a VA that does my social media. And it's like, ooh, yes, I love it. And you know why I love it? Because I don't have to do it, and I have time to do other stuff. I have time to work on materials for next week. I have time to get on here and talk to you guys. I have time to do my podcast. I have time to write a blog. These are the things that I want to be able to do. I don't want to do all that other stuff. I've been doing admin stuff for over 20 something years. I'm tired of it now. I'm ready to leave that all behind and do bigger and better things. So this is why I invested in myself, right? I'm an investor. So if someone was to pitch to me and talk to me about all those pain points that I was talking about, they got me. I'm sold. All right. So wouldn't you want that from your dream client? So these next 5 days, I want you to get that pen and paper. I want you to go to a quiet place. I want you to start writing these questions down that you're going to ask your ideal client. And you're not just going to write the questions. You're actually going to be talking to your ideal client. You're going to be talking out loud. Hey, Betsy, how are you doing? Oh, okay. I know that you had a birthday last month. How was the birthday? So how did you celebrate that? Right? How did it go with your business? Oh, I know that you was talking about this client that really needed your help, and something else came up with your kids, and whatever that is. Have a conversation. Make up scenarios of your ideal client that your ideal client will be going through, and how you can somehow fix that problem. Whereas if she had someone to put stuff on her social media or send an email to her clients because she had an emergency or something like that, wouldn't that be something that your ideal client will want to hear about? Because these are real life situations that your clients go through. So why not put it out there and talk about it? Talk about what your ideal client is going through, those conversations that you're having with your ideal client, because that is the key. I'm telling you guys, that is the key to attracting your ideal client. So I know that you guys don't want to chase. I know you're tired of chasing clients. You're tired of chasing clients. You're tired of just posting just to be posting. And you're posting just to be posting because you're not being intentional about it. You're not being intentional about what you are posting. You're just posting just to get a client. If you sit back and think about what your client is going through, those type of scenarios that your clients is going through, and how you can resolve those issues, and how you can give them a quick win on certain things that perhaps maybe you have done. Because remember, your ideal client is a version of you, right? So what makes you tick? What is going to make you happy? What transformation do you need in your business? And what do you need to get that transformation in your business? And these are the things that you need to be writing down every single day. And I guarantee you, when you have these conversations and have these dates, these date nights with your ideal client, it's going to be so much easier for you to put content out there to draw your ideal client. And you're not just going to draw them in, you're going to draw them by their emotions. Emotional. We are emotional beings, right? We are emotional women. We emotional. So when you're speaking to something that they're going through, they want to feel it. They want to see it. They want to know that you're making a connection with them. So that's just like when you're talking, when you're reading a good book, right? I love reading a good book because I can't put it down. I be in the book like, oh my God. Say for example, it's that romance, but I love romance books, by the way. Okay. So you read romance books and you're reading about this guy romancing this woman and taking out on a date, getting her gifts and you know doing things, and yet they're going and traveling the world, and it's like you're living in that fantasy. You're like, you start imagining that yourself. I'm still single, so if I imagine, I'm like, yeah, that's the type of man I want. I want someone who's going to do this. Yeah, this book is tapping into my emotions right now. Okay. And I'm imagining all these things that, oh my God, yes, that's the type of man that I want. Yes. So my thing is, you want your clients to say, yes, that's the virtual assistant that I want. She's talking about me. She knows what I'm going through. And perhaps maybe you put something out there, a freebie or some tips out there for your ideal client that they tried and say, you know what, that worked. That was a small, quick win. Thank you. I did try that and it did work. And that's going to get them to want to follow you, have a conversation with you, perhaps maybe opt into your and book an appointment with you. And that's how you're going to glam and attract your ideal clients, is starting to go on date nights with your clients. Go on a date for the first time. Go on a date with your client, because that's what it feels like, right? When you're on social media, you don't know what to say. You don't know what they're going through because you don't know your ideal client. So for someone who has not booked a client yet, I want you to take the 5 days and I want you to go on a daily date night with your ideal client and sit there and reflect on the things that you discuss with your ideal client, the things that your ideal client is going through, their pain points, and how you're going to solve those pain points. What are you going to do to give your clients that transformation that they need? Right? So what is that going to do for you? It's going to, oh my God, these 5 days that you're going to do, you're going to have so much content. You're going to be speaking to your ideal client. You're going to have so much things to say on social media, and it's going to be so much easy. You could just take one question that you talked about on your date night, and you can chop that up in 2 or 3 days of content, right? You can make a series out of it. You can make a scenario out of your ideal client. Whatever conversation you had with them, what was that scenario, and how were you able to solve their problem? How did you get them to book you, right? To book you, to help you with the social media, to get them to hire you as a executive admin assist, virtual assistant, whatever field or industry or niche that you're in. These are the things that we have to do. So I just wanted to come on and I wanted to encourage you all, okay? Encourage you all that even though we're in December, we're almost at the end of the year. Don't take this as a loss. Don't take this year as a loss. Yes, we have lost many lives this year. Many people got sick. We are still living in the pandemic. People are still getting sick. I even have close ones that have been affected by the pandemic. But that shouldn't stop you from still doing what you need to do, because regardless of what, we still got to do business as usual. We are humans, right? We go through emotions. We may cry a little bit. We may get hurt. We may get scraped a little bit. But guess what? We're going to get back up and we're going to do it again. So don't take this 2020 as a loss. It's not a loss. think about reflecting on the things uh, that happened throughout this year, the growth that you receive from this. Uh, Start writing about the good things that came out of this to inspire yourself to move forward. If you did start your virtual assistant business and you didn't know your ideal client, now I gave you some tips. I gave you a head start on what you need to do to find out about your ideal client. Get into the mind of your ideal client so that you can start creating content that is going to attract your ideal client. This can be a conversation when you go live. You can do a blog about it. You can tweet some of these things on Twitter. There's just so much places that you can add your content to, whatever platform that you love, that you want to dominate, and you want to show up as the expert in the amazing, beautiful person that you are. Then go ahead and do it. It's not late. Let's end 2020 strong and start 2021 stronger. Okay. And the thing that you really need to know, if anything else, other than niching down, you really, really need to know who your ideal client is. So go ahead and start scheduling your date nights with your ideal client. I would love to hear some of those date nights. You can put it in the comments below, or if you are listening on the podcast, please share with me what that date night was like. How was it? What is the name of your ideal client? What are their ages? Do they have children? Where do they live? Do they live international? Do they live in your states, out of state? What did that ideal client, what came out of that date? Did you say anything funny? Did your ideal client laugh? Did you connect with them on the emotional level? These are the things that I would love to hear about. So go ahead, put them in the comments here and on podcast. If you're listening to my podcast, please, leave me a message. All right, guys, it was great speaking to you about this. I love talking about ideal client because this is the key to attracting your clients. So have a great, great, great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And just remember that you are amazing. Have a blessed one, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.